Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Ross Bailey here, Friendly Product Specialist. Let's go do the awkward bit. This is the bit where I say to everyone, hope you're all well. Can you hear me? Here's my voice, and here's the guitar. Someone let me know everything is good, and I'll fill for the little gap for now. And we've got some people in already. Hello from Chandler, Arizona. Evening, Mike. Yeah, let's hope everything is good and well with the voice and the sound and all of that. Sounds great. Howdy from New Zealand, Duke. Oh, marvelous. Got people popping up all over the place. Cool. So, what we're going to cover tonight is something I've kind of touched on before in a previous one, but not kind of gone into any super detail. I'm going to try and do a little bit of that tonight. And this has kind of come from, I did the Steve Vai toner like a couple of weeks ago. And so while I was researching his current rig, it was like, oh, okay, so you do that. And it got me thinking about how I use Helix and some other ways to do it. And I started experimenting and came up with a really cool thing. So we'll get to that in a little while, but just a different way of thinking about it and hopefully get you thinking about how you use Helix a different way. So you may or may not be aware, and this will be super basic knowledge for a lot of people, but there's a ton of different layouts for the actual board. So you can absolutely just go preset to preset, and make a ton of different sounds, and that's great. That generally doesn't work for me personally, so I'll sort of show you how I have mine set up with my main preset, and then how I've kind of rethought about it and how I'm going to try using it in gigs coming up, basically. So the first thing that you want to kind of do is think, right, okay, well, what do I want Helix to do? How do I want it to operate? And start going through the global settings, which I'll show you in a second. Because like I say, you can, if you just want to recreate a pedalboard, you can do that. You can obviously do the snapshots and all that stuff. So just keeping an eye on the comments. Here we go. From Kogan Station. Hi, Brion. Hi, Peter. Cheers, mate. I don't know about the ear, but we'll see. Evening, Sharon. Cool. Right. So let me switch to the camera. And I'll get rid of my face so we can zoom in. So this is kind of, as I'm sure you're all aware, this is how Helix looks when you pull it out of the box. Obviously not on these presets, but there we go. Use for gigs, that's what I need to know. How do you use for gigs? Well, Mike, let me pull that up and I'll switch back to me. So if you can just let me know what you mean by that, because this is sort of more of a switching thing and a layout and just kind of a functionality thing to make your life easier. Basically, that's sort of where I'm going with that. As far as going direct or whatnot, that could be it. 100% Yamaha rig. Basically, yeah, so there we go. So that's the guitar I'm using tonight. That's the new Revstar. This is the RSP 02T. It's the professional one, made in Japan. It's awesome. It's just so nice. These P90s are glorious. So that's the guitar I'm using. Helix into the interface, which is another Helix because I'm greedy. And that's that. So on we go. So this is the layout. So it's basically, it's all presets. You can see, hi. All presets. Ignore these. I've not done anything with that. And I can go in and I've set some other ones up here. And that's just my main one. So that's kind of straight out of the box how you use it, and just go, yeah, switch to the preset. So they're the kind of sounds, and you bank up and bank down, and then you can go press a stump, and then you've got a pedalboard. This is how I've got this particular preset set up. So it's got a ton of stuff in there, and I have covered this in a previous live stream, so we don't need to go back into that. Now, if you hit the button with the 3 lines and go to global settings and then foot switches, this is where you can start to kind of re-lay out this board of the foot switches. So when you go to stompbox mode, You've got this stomp switches, so you can have 8 or 10. I have it on 10 because I'm greedy. And then if I swap hands so you can see. So the preset mode switches, when you turn that, this is where it starts to change. So I've got 4 presets on the top, and then 4 instant access stomp boxes on the bottom. I can swap that round, and you just keep going, and you get into the snapshots. By the way, hi. I'm going to apologise. I'm going to be sniffing a lot. I have a little bit of a cold. It's going to be gross. I apologise now. I should have done it earlier. There we go. So yeah, we've got the snapshots thing. This is how I have it set up. So I can show you that in a minute. Just generally how I use it. All 8 snapshots. So for anyone that does not know what snapshots are, so snapshots are really cool. You'll have heard when I was switching through the presets there's a little bit of a gap, and we've managed to shrink it down considerably. A little bit of a gap if you're just switching preset to preset. So, and that's generally okay. It's not super noticeable, but if you're going from kind of a rhythm to a lead and then back to a rhythm, if you've got delay on the lead preset and then you go to the rhythm one, those delay trails will stop. Any reverb trails will stop, so on and so forth. So snapshots kind of gets rid of that, and I like to think of it like the film Inception. A snapshot is a preset within a preset. You put the stuff that you want in, and it kind of turns it into kind of a switching system, which when we did snapshots in a previous firmware, that suited me down to the ground because I was used to a switching system and it just worked. So snapshots are really cool, and you can do some really amazing things. It's not just instant sound change and delay spillover and so on and so forth. You can go in and actually change parameters. So you can have one pedal that you like a dozen different sounds on, for example, and you can kind of program each snapshot to change that pedal, all those pedal parameters. Same with the amp, so on and so forth. So it's a really cool little feature, the snapshots. And so this is, I have it. We've got some more people in. Evening Jim, evening Louis. So the snapshot thing, so this is my main preset, and I've just got snapshot 1 set up like that, snapshot 2, and you'll see on the screen things are kind of turning on and off when I press the button. So you'll hear it's kind of an instant change every time you change the sound. And that's great. That's been working for me really, really well. What I've discovered now is a different way of doing it. So doing it this way is okay. And it's, like I say, it's how I used to run my, analog rig, I guess, when I was using an amp and a pedalboard. And that's great because you limit yourself to the gear within the preset, and with this I've got 2 amps, a ton of pedals, and so on and so forth. That's fine, but you are limited. Duke says, what amp block is that? That, which one? That lead one? That, my friend, it's not that one. That is the Cali for lead. I'm quite happy to throw this up on Custom Tone in a bit if you so desire, and you can have a play. And the other presets are basically stomp boxes into the Cali Texas Channel 1, which sound great. So basically I've got kind of 4 core sounds, clean through filthy, and then I can add any of these pedals onto the top, which works really, really cool. So I can go to the 80s. And that's a cool crunch sound, but if I want to turn that into a lead, I can just turn those on. you get the idea. Same on that. And then I've got my solo boost. Again, I've covered the why I use a graphic in a previous live stream, so go back and check that out if you so desire. So this is where it starts to get interesting. Like I say, if I hit the preset stomp button, then I've got all of my stomp boxes. Now, there's a couple of different ways you can do this, which I'll cover in a bit. So if I go back to global settings, Footswitches, I want to change that back to presets. So I'm going to go to that one. So you'll see these presets are fairly simple. I've got them on one line, and they're all a bit different. I've got different pedals, different amps, and this is the kind of my new idea of how to use this. So while that preset's awesome and it's got all the sounds I kind of want to cover, I actually started thinking, right, okay, well, I definitely want a more voxy sound for this, or I definitely want you know, a genuine amp thing for this, which I think kind of works better. So I'm not limiting myself, basically. But by doing that, with my older way of switching, I'd kind of have to do this. So I would go in on foot switches and I'd go like that. So I've got, you'll see I've got different pedals per one as well. So it's a similar way of doing it, but if I'm on that and I've kind of put a leady kind of thing on, you'll hear not really the gap, but those delay trails don't carry over, and that bothers me a little bit. So this is what I've come up with. So there's a reason that I've gone just on the top path here, because I don't need, like in the other preset, in that one, I've got all of the things, so I need both paths and parallels and so on and so forth. With this one, here's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go in, global settings, preferences. So you go into the preferences and then preset spillover. Do that. It's going to remove path 2. You may or may not be aware of this. So now I've got this. So now I can actually kind of go back to that. So you can hear there's no kind of gap between switching presets, because that's what the preset spillover does. It uses that second pass processor to load the previous preset or the preset that you're ready to go from, and you get the delay spillover and everything is cool. So it's kind of like snapshots, but you can go between everything really easily. So now I've got that, which is cool, but now I've got 4 sounds there. I actually want to go and add another one. So I've got that one as well. I'm going to tweak that a little bit because I didn't save it right. There we go. There we go. Right. So, no gap between switch presets, and I've still got my stomp boxes. Now this is where I thought it got quite interesting. Just a couple of comments come in. Sounds epic, sounds nice. Wish to have line 6 Helix, yeah, Louis. Tricks off, it's awesome. Hi from Rome, James Cool. Peter says, I can't listen to the whole stream right now, but I have a question. Is there a way to mix the settings per patch? Can I have snapshot mode at one patch, put it on there, and pedal mode at another patch? Kind of, yes. So this is sort of what I've tried to do with this now. So you can kind of get the best of all worlds. So this is similar to the snapshot deal that I had set up. So I've got 4 sounds. and then some instant access stuff. And like I said, all of the each preset has its own collection of stomp boxes, so I'm not limiting myself. However, this is what I've done. So if I hit stompbox mode, now I kind of did this the wrong way, and I'll show you how to do this in a little while, but I want 5 sounds and 5 instant access to pedals. And that's what I've done. So you'll see now, I can go. So I've still got my instant access pedals there, but then I can go to a different amp. You get the idea. So I basically got 5 different presets. Clean. And different pedals per preset. How you do that, you go in, go back to there. 3 lines, command center. This is a beautiful thing. And you'll see down this bottom row, that's the tap tempo, so you don't want to do anything with that. But you'll see, I basically go in and I go HX preset, and then I program each switch to do the thing. So what I would recommend is not doing it the way I did it, which was program the presets and then program the foot switches, because you have to go, because it's per preset, you have to go in and program each individual one. Each preset, if you want this layout, you've got to do it every single preset, which was a bit of a pain. I would say if you think about kind of what you want those foot switches to do, or what preset you want them to go to, program like a blank preset, put those command center functions in, and then build your preset from there, and go in and build each one differently. I didn't do that. It took me a little while. So that's what I would recommend. Personally, so what Peter was asking, without going into the other seconds, snapshot mode, 1, and pattern mode, another patch. Yeah, so basically, if I go to this one, for example, so I can actually kind of get rid of these functions. Yeah. So, So when I go, if I save that, and I want that preset in stomp mode, I can still get to, come on. I can still get to that one, and then have any of these do any of these functions. So if I want these to be snapshots, I just change the command to snapshots, and I can choose which snapshot, and I can actually go, right, okay, do that. Yeah, so I can actually go between a couple of different snapshots just by pressing and holding. There we go. Right. So if I need a slight boost in volume real quick, just to make something pop out, that's a really useful function. So essentially, I can do anything with any of these pedals that I want, whether it's instant access, snapshots, or presets. So yes, you can do it on a per preset basis. We go there. So yeah. There you go. So you'll see now I've taken all of those functions off the big lead preset. That's got rid of every function. So I might want to leave a rhythm preset in there, or a clean preset, or my get out of jail free card. Also remember, these along the top line, these are all fully programmable as well. So you could have your, excuse the sniffle, you can have your 4 presets on the bottom, and then kind of the press and release snapshot thing there. You could have a different preset there, essentially completely reconfigure the whole board however you want it. And like I said, the concept with this was, okay, I like how Steve Vai's got his rig currently with the different preamps, and I don't always want to use different stomp boxes to get a certain sound. I might want the actual amp sound rather than something that, you know, an amp in a box kind of deal. If that makes sense, hopefully. But I still want, you know, a pedal board per thing, per amp, and I can go, right, okay, so for that amp, I want specific pedals. So I want the Stupa for gain boost. But I also want to kind of put on a low octave and a phaser. Because fun. And then for that one, I just want big. Because why wouldn't you? And that's kind of that. So it's a fairly easy process. You just got to kind of think about what you want to do, how you want to switch things. Do you want to do that per preset, or do you want it as a global thing? But yeah, it's really easy to set up. Just takes a little bit of thought, a little bit of time. Comments. 3 button encoder knobs below the screen. Can run setting make them the 3 button encoder knobs below them are inactive in the following 4 modes. If you hit your view button pixelot, that, I think, if I'm thinking right, then that will do it. Mitch says, is possible on the HX Temple as well? Yeah, absolutely. So again, same deal, you go into Command Center, you've got your 3 buttons, or the 4 buttons on, or 6 buttons on Stomp XL, and you can program, yeah, whatever you want. Again, can't listen without going into global settings. No, you can't do it without going. You have to go into the global, into the command center, basically. Global settings to choose the board layout if you want to do the snapshot thing, or command center if you want to program a foot switch to go to a certain preset or a certain snapshot, if you so desire. Great, pizza, thanks, Gruel. Alan, will this video be available when you're done? I missed most. Where were you, Alan? You're late. Yes, it will. Facebook and YouTube, it will be available later. So, yeah, like I said, that's kind of what I wanted to do. I want to go, right, I want all of the presets. I want delay trails and reverb trails to spill over, and I want to switch between American amps, careful, American amps and British amps and Class A's and all of that business, and get a completely different sound rather than using pedals to get my sound, which is what I've always done. This does that. You have to be in preset spillover mode if you want to do that, and again, that's in your global settings, in the preferences bit, and that's kind of it. So it's a different concept to what I'm used to. I'm going to try it this weekend. I've got a couple of gigs. I think it'll work out okay. And it's kind of like a multi-amp rig, but lots of different amps. So could be cool. Still on the curve with Helix. I need to move fast. Sorry, record contract. Nice one, Alan. Congratulations. Mike says, thank you for the live chat. You're very, very welcome. I'll try and keep my eyes on the comments. What I'll do, I'll upload a template. I'll build a template with kind of that. So if I, there we go. So I'll build a template. So I'll actually go 1A through 2A, I guess. So you got kind of 5 presets, and then what you want to do, like I say, if you start on 1A and just build the presets as you go, and just copy that preset over however many presets you want to do, basically. I hope that makes sense. I'm a little bit ill. I apologize if I'm waffling. And Peter says, will new amp models hinted at by recent YouTube videos be included in Helix? It's a great question. I do not know. I cannot find a way in Command Center. Right, sorry, Pixelot. I think I understand now. Right, so no, the 3 encoder buttons, bring that up again for anyone. So the 3 encoder buttons are literally just kind of parameter changes or setting changes, basically. So no, you kind of can't really use those for anything other than changing a parameter on a particular amp or effect. As in, you can't use them as an extra stump box. But the foot switches, obviously, that you can program to do whatever you want, pretty much. I hope that kind of thing makes sense. So just to kind of demonstrate, yeah, same your encoders here. All they're going to really do is change settings on a particular thing, or do that stuff, or do that stuff. But yeah, you can't make them into an extra foot switch, if that's what you mean. I hope so. Chuck another comment in and I'll keep an eye on it and see if we can do anything in a future live stream to cover it, or I will answer it. So there we go. I've started to waffle. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Hopefully this will make you think a little bit and maybe try a few new things, and get a little bit more out of your Helix, because it's fun and we just keep doing cool things with it. And that's that. Again, thanks for watching. If you did miss anything, this is going to be live pretty much straight away. I will build the preset. I'll chuck it up on custom tone and throw it in the comments. Boom. Job's good. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you again next time. Next week, we either have Tony or Nick. Nick did last week, so it'll be Tony next week. Tune in, same time, same place.